I am going to be working on this area today. I am going to be adding a bunch of boxwoods. Over the weekend, I went to a couple of my local blue stores and I was looking for a bunch of boxwoods specifically, and I definitely find a few. The main thing that I want to accomplish here as far as placing the new boxwoods is that I want to follow the curve of the current boxwood hedge that I have on the right side. I want to make sure that the new hedge is just going to follow that guide, and I'm just kind of checking, measuring, seeing how things are going to be placed, seeing how things will work out. I definitely want to give myself enough room to have this path really wide to make sure that if I need to move, I don't know, machinery or something else through here, that I am not just super tight on space. And I don't have that big of space to use either, so just want to use it to the best of my abilities. And I'm just measuring here, trying to decide how the new boxwoods and how the new hedge is going to look like. If you are wondering, the boxwoods are going to be placed about 16 inches away from each other. I measure 16 inches away from the center of the plant where I'm going to be placing the rest of the boxwoods. That's the measure that I use for most of these hedges that I have built, and I feel like that spacing works really well for me. It has been a few days later. I planted all of my boxwoods. I had my husband help me, and somehow I lost a lot of footage from that part of me showing you how to do that and showing you the lovely boxwoods. And that's why we're just jumping right into the hedge as it looks like. Like I mentioned, the boxwoods are spaced about 16 inches apart. Every single one of these boxwoods is a winter gem variety. I have winter gems and I have winter greens for my boxwoods in the garden. Those are the only really two varieties that I really like. They don't really get brown during the winter. I know that a lot of people have that problem with certain varieties. Here in central Indiana, as far as my experience with them, I don't have that problem. But every single one of these boxwoods is winter gem. I found them at one of my local Lowe's. They happened to have a huge delivery of tons of them, and I purchased quite a lot of them. I have a total of 16 boxwoods here for this new hedge, and originally I had purchased 10 thinking that that was going to be plenty, but I changed my mind as far as how the shape of the hedge was going to end, how it was going to curve, and of course I make another trip to Lowe's and got a couple more. When I planted these boxwoods, I make sure to give them a little bit of fertilizer, regular plant tone from Spoma, a little handful of that in each hole was plenty. Right now, my biggest worry is just making sure that these guys get established enough so they can go through the winter here. I think they're going to be just fine. I am giving them water here and there because it has been a little bit hot during the day and they're not on irrigation, so they're just relying on me for the watering needs. I am not going to be worrying about shaping them right now or pruning them or anything like that. Like I said, my biggest worry is just making sure that they get established, they don't die. And for being in the time right now that we get quite cool mornings as we get into fall, I think that this is definitely the best time for these guys to get planted. And the hedge right around where my hydrangeas start, kind of meeting the other hedge that goes around the corner of the property. I think that this is going to look really amazing. I can see it when it's nice and full. Obviously right now they look a little bit silly because of their size, and that's okay. I am willing to go a couple of years with these guys looking the way that they look right now, and I'm just happy that I got to find them locally and in this size, honestly. As I look at this empty hedge right now, I am thinking that I am going to add a few more heucheras, especially ones that are lighter in color, so they can just make the contrast with the darker ones there. Surprisingly, the heucheras have done really well here. They get a little bit of that morning sun, But as soon as the afternoon hits, the hydrangea hedge here just completely shades them. And they love that. They are not in irrigation, nothing here is on irrigation. Right now, the next thing that I am going to be working on is just cleaning up this area. I am going to be placing some cardboard and get a few bags of mulch so that it just looks nice and finished. And I'm thinking that I'm going to reuse some old bricks that I have on the back of my house that have been just sitting there as part of the etching, for this boxwood hedge, just like it is on the other side. I really love that look, and I have the materials. They're free, and I can just use them that way. The size of these boxwoods is a 1-gallon container. For being in 1 gallon, they look really, really nice and full. And surprisingly, they were on sale. They were originally $20 for this size, which, believe me, that's a lot of money to pay, especially when you need quite a few of them. But they were on sale for $9.98, so basically $10. Each of these boxwoods is looking amazing. I am really, really excited that I got them kind of this full, and this is normally how I start my hedges. I don't really start with huge boxwoods because for using a lot of them at once, for buying them in huge quantities is definitely a small investment. So I start as low as I can, definitely trying to find the same varieties, and I just really got really lucky this time. Having this hose reel right here is so convenient, you guys. I probably show this hose reel and the other ones that I have around my garden in almost every video, but it is definitely a game changer. I want to show you one of the things that is making me super happy right at this moment, right at the beginning of September, because they're blooming, they're doing amazing, and I do need your help when it comes to these perennial mums. These beautiful mums got planted last year in the fall right here. They were definitely looking a little bit sad, and I wasn't sure if they were going to come back at all, but they did, and they are amazing. I have a total of 5 of them here, and they are definitely big. They have definitely spread, and throughout the year I prune them a couple of times. I heard somewhere that when you have perennial mums, you have to make sure that they stay short so that they don't get super leggy and that you get more of a bushy plant. But there are a couple of them that I think I'm going to have to give them one more prune a little bit later in the year for the following year, so they stay a little bit more compact. These guys right here are definitely breaking, and the reason why I think they need to be pruned a little bit more is because this is exactly what happens with sedums. You can definitely prune sedums early in the year to make sure that they stay a little bit more bushy, and I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is exactly what these perennial mums need. This one right here is being protected by that lavender, so it's staying nice and round, but I'm going to try to prune them a little bit longer, or at least keep them short for longer time next year, and we'll see how they do. But my goodness, they look amazing. This is really all for this video. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the next time.